All right. So what is it that we are going to be looking at in strategic management? I have already said that the name of the course is strategic management. Before I go any further, let me just confirm, you are able to hear me and you can see the screen clearly. Anybody to confirm? You see the screen, you can hear me clearly. Right? Anybody can turn on their mic and just confirm for me, and then we move on. All right. Is there anyone who is able to confirm? Just turn on your mic and confirm with us, and then you'll be fine. Can you see the screen? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can see the screen on my end.
Okay, that's fine. Let's guess everyone is able to see the screen. Colleagues and friends, strategic management stands out as a very crucial course that you need actually as you are learning, as you are doing the studies that you are doing as degree holders, because apparently what usually happens is that as you grow, as you keep on going in your studies, strategic management becomes so critical. All right. So I was saying that usually you would bear witness to the truth that as you keep on, climbing the ranks, right, going upward in your career, whatever field of study that you get to have, management, comes out as one of the major things that you need to pay attention to, because most of you get to find yourself in those positions where you need to provide management, right? You need to provide leadership at that same time, right, as you do manage. So it becomes very important. Whatever level, whatever program you study, you can start, you are an engineer. Even as an engineer, as you move on upward in terms of the ranks that you get, the degrees that you do are managerial in nature. You need to provide management, leadership there. So now, if you don't know how to provide leadership, you are not trained in strategic management, it becomes a challenge. Yeah, by default, as you just keep on growing, growing in career, growing in age, you find yourself leading, like you just automatically find yourself leading. So what strategic management does is that it gives you with those skills, right? So that you are able to provide sound leadership. You are able to provide, management, and you are managing not just like any other person, right? You're managing strategically, because this is strategic management. You are able to manage strategic. What are some of the things that you study in strategic management? What do you think we are going to be looking at? In strategic management, colleagues, you learn things that would include the following, right? Number one, we'll teach you the process of strategy formulation, right? We'll teach you the process of strategic planning and the strategy formulation, right? Maybe you don't know what the word strategy means. I want to simplify it to the class that the word is strategy, as the name may be suggestive. A strategy is basically an action plan, right? It's an action plan on how, to achieve uh, the set objective, the set objective or the set goal. So, right, you find yourself setting goals, you set those objectives that you want to achieve at the end of the day. Now, then the how part, what is it that you're going to be doing so that you can achieve those goals or the objectives is what you call a strategy, right? Many people are able to plan, they have the dreams even for next year, 2025. They are planning, no, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But if you don't know how to form a strategy, right? You don't know how to form a strategy, and then um, you cannot, you're most likely not to achieve that particular goal or that objective. So for you to manage to achieve the set objective or the goal, please, you need to be able to move or set the objective that should be coupled with the strategies, right? You need a strategy, and the strategy should be properly aligned to the objective, should be true, and it has to be super coherent to ensure that your actions that you're doing are coherent to the ultimate goal that you're pursuing. You need the strategy, which is basically an action plan. I'm defining the strategy first because that's the highly pronounced word as we're going to be moving. That action plan, right? So now, when we start in whatever thing that you're doing as a company now, from at macro level, we'll start by looking at planning, for example. How do you actually plan? Now, this planning that we are doing is not just common or simple planning, right? This is a strategic planning. How do you plan strategically, right? Not like any other person. We want you to plan like someone who went to the university and is trained in management. So you learn strategic planning, and after you have learned how to plan, you will learn how to form the strategies, right? How to form the strategies. Colleagues and friends, usually what happens, many people have these aspirations that they want to have, including companies. But if they don't have a working strategy, they don't have a strategy that is properly formulated, the strategy that speaks to the objective, they don't usually achieve these goals, right? You find many people at the beginning of the year, right now at the end of the year, many people are going to make resolutions, even companies. No, this year, next year, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do what? But colleague, if you've just said you're going to do what without a strategy, then you're most likely not to achieve that. So now, in this course, you learn the whole science actually of strategy formulation. How do you form a strategy? What are the components of a strategy, right? How do you craft a strategy? How do you design a strategy? You will learn that these points that you are going to be looking at mainly to be biased towards a company level, but you can apply them to yourself even as an individual, right? That is, strategy formulation. Strategic analysis. You might have heard of the word analysis being used, right? Several, by many people, isn't it? They say we are analyzing this, we're going to be making some analysis. But here, in this course, you're going to learn how to form strategic analysis, not just common analysis. So here, you'll be analyzing issues, okay? For example, when you form that particular goal, it's the objective, you want to achieve this level of sales, you need to do analysis, okay? Look at, are there things that will hinder you from achieving that goal? Do you think there are some things that you project that they can stop you from achieving the goal? If they are there, all right, what could be the way of going about those, those hindrances? How can you go about them? How can you make sure that you deal with them so that you are find that you are able to have that? What you'll be able to learn how to scan the entire environment upon which you're going to have that objective, obtained. So you have this objective, and when we want to achieve this particular objective, You want to achieve this particular objective in a certain environment, right? So you learn scientific and very advanced way of scanning the environment where you want to pursue your strategy in, right? This environment may not be physical, environment like maybe a physical location or what. It could even be online, or it can be some platform, right? So it's very advanced. We are going to give you very, very advanced techniques that are used to scan the environment, and do analysis. That's what you're going to be doing. Then when you're done doing that, colleagues, will not just end there, right? Will not just end there. But before I go any further, let me find out if the class is able to hear me. Are you able to hear me? Am I speaking so fast? Should we reduce the pace? Hello? Can you hear me? Can you see the screen?
Yes, I can hear you sound. The pace is also okay.
Okay. All right. Natasha, it's a good thing to have you in class, and you're welcome to the conversation. It's been a long time to hear from you. Please feel comfortable. We are looking at strategic management.
Well, thank you, sir. Good evening. How are you?
No, we are good. So we are saying that after we have taught everybody, we have given everybody the tools and the techniques that are used to scan the environment and do analysis, so that when you set a goal, it should not fail. Then we are going to give you what we call the strategic options. There are options that are available to be followed, right? The routes, right, that you should use when you're forming you form these objectives, you want to achieve them. But what are the possible ways that you have to use to achieve these objectives? Are there any options that are available that you have to follow? So have that topic called the strategic options. Look at this in details. Very advanced techniques will be introduced to you on how to, analyze and how to look at these things. Okay. The other thing that you learn is how to implement a strategy, right? Colleagues, setting a strategy is one thing, right? Analyzing the environment is one thing. Following good options, strategic options is one thing, but also implementation and the process of implementation, or the advanced techniques that should be used to make sure that these things are implemented is what you need, actually. All of you need that. All of us, actually, including myself. I need that. This is very important, actually. I would say it's one of the most important courses. I think it's the most important course. Look, because without management, then we can't do anything. There are some of you that want to run your own businesses, right? There are some of you that are running your own businesses. For you to properly manage your businesses, you need strategic management. There are some of you that are planning to do businesses as well. You need strategic management. There are some of you that have families, right? You have children, you have wives, you have husbands. For you to manage your homes strategically, you need strategic management. A strategic manager that has been properly trained from the University of Zambia will be able to manage their families very well, right? You run your families as a business, okay? All the principles of management, I think they cut across, right? They cut across everywhere. They are applicable everywhere. Anyways, that was just by the way. But please, this is applied everywhere. Even in churches, some of you are going to become church elders, your church elders, or your pastors, all manner of groupings, whatever, organizations. Please, strategic management is very, very crucial. You need to be able to manage it strategically. That's the message we are sending across. Now, one thing that is very interesting, before I continue, let me welcome Nasilel to the class. Nasilel, you're welcome to the conversation. Please feel comfortable. And we are happy to receive you. We are looking at strategic management.
Thank you very much.
And there is Tarsila George. You're also welcome to the class. Please feel comfortable. And we are looking at strategic management.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now, colleagues, it has been said that, you see, actually research has shown, right? I'm using, this is national research that was conducted at national level. Zambia, research has shown that has got the best working papers actually, when it comes to the way how they have to sort out their problems or solve their problems, you know, our problems. We have got a lot of research that has been conducted within the country, right? You know, professors, researchers have written a lot of paper guiding the country actually on how, on the direction that they have to take so that they can come out of whatever problems. People have been researching. And actually, research has shown that it's not that we don't have better plans, right? The plans are just there. Even the policies that are implemented, they are good. They're just the policies that are available, they are good, right? They have been proposed. But the problem or the challenge we have is on implementation, right? We write, we are good at writing, you plan properly, we plan strategically, right? Then after planning, we set, we have all these objectives, we have these goals, but our problem is, our challenge is implementing, right? Doing, in other words, doing what you plan or what you say you're going to do. It's one way, you have one thing, you have written it down, you have said, this is how we're going to do it, it should work like this. You understand, right? You see the end from the very beginning. This is what we are sending, this is the message we are sending. But doing, that's implementation. Now here, this has been a huge problem at individual levels, even at organizational levels, even including the national level. There are those good policies, but the implementation has been very poor and they have not been implemented, right? So now here in this course, we are going to teach you the science of strategy implementation. The very advanced techniques will be introduced to you. We'll use very, very advanced techniques to teach you on how to implement the strategies, right? You're going to learn how to implement the strategies. How do you implement the strategies? Okay, when you plan, you are going to do this. Of course, we have already said we are going to teach you how to plan, right? You already know how to plan, not just like a common person, no. Planning like somebody who went to the university and learned strategic planning. You learn how to plan strategically, you form the strategies, you can analyze, you can choose better options. Now, implementing will give you very advanced techniques that you're going to be using to implement what you plan, right? You're going to be implementing what you plan. But how do you implement what you plan? Please, you need to undergo this training that you're going to be administering to you. We're going to have these trainings given to you. Every one of you, every one of us will learn how to implement the strategies. And by the end of this strategy implementation, most of us actually will look back and say, the reason why I failed to achieve that goal is because I had not yet attended this class. We can assure you that if you really understand strategic planning and strategic management, you are going to become a go-getter. Whatever goal you set, you will be able to achieve them because you would have been trained to be a technician and a person who is properly trained. Okay. Colleagues, the strategies have been formed and we have learned how to implement them, right? We are in the process of implementing these strategies. What is it that we are going to communicate to you as we conclude? It is a strategy monitoring and evaluation, right? Strategy monitoring and evaluation after implementation. You need to learn how to, monitor the strategies. You are in the process of, implementing, but you need to monitor, checking the progress, right? That's monitoring. Every time, every now and then, time again and again, checking the progress. And at the end of it, or at each point at the end, you need to evaluate, to do some evaluation. By the way, there is a course that people teach, actually. You learn this in most of the universities. It is called the monitoring and evaluation, right? Some of you did this course in first year, I think. Monitoring and evaluation. You can also do it as a course. You can even do a postgraduate diploma, right? Go back after a bachelor's degree, come back for postgraduate and do a diploma, an advanced, a postgraduate diploma in, in monitoring and evaluation. Here, you learn how to monitor and evaluate these same, strategies that you make. So you learn how to monitor the progress of the projects, and how to do the evaluation at the end of each one. We'll introduce you to this course in chapter number 6, strategy monitoring. How do you monitor the strategy? Many people, they end in the middle. They don't reach the end. That's why they don't see the results. They don't even know how to monitor, right? You learn how to monitor. And at the end, again, there is evaluation. These are things that we teach. So in strategic management, colleagues, number one, we have said after introducing the entire course, we will be able to teach you how to plan strategically and how to form the strategies that should help you to achieve and catch those plans. We'll teach you how to analyze or scan the environments in which you are going to be working. We explain to you how to look at the options that may be available for you or the ways out. We will not end there. We'll also look at how to implement these strategies, right, in the 5th unit. Then the other thing that we'll look at is strategy monitoring. We explain to you on how to monitor strategy. There are very advanced methods that are used in monitoring strategies or monitoring the projects, the progress of these processes that you embark on. And then finally, we'll do what? Evaluation. How do you do evaluation? How do you evaluate? So that is basically what you're going to be looking at, right? That's basically what you're going to be looking at in this particular course called strategic management. So in conclusion, if you decide to miss courses, please don't miss strategic management. How are we going to be learning now? Just like any other, we're going to be going through exam questions. After looking at we explain the concepts, the theories and everything. Then we'll go through exam questions. We'll go through the assignments from the other years. We'll go through the test papers that they did the other years. And then we'll not end there. I'll also give you problems. I'll give you the tests, right? After giving you the tests, I'll also give you some few assignments where possible. The question is, why should you trouble us by giving us extra tests and assignments? No. The issue is that we want to give you these because at the level that you have reached as 4th year students or 3rd year students, this is very applied level, okay? You're no longer learning the things that you are learning actually in 1st year, most of the 1st year things that you learn in 2nd year, they're not applicable. You understand? You are just, being introduced to theory. But at this level, the things that you learn starting from 3rd year going upwards, usually these are applied levels. So we want you to have deeper understanding so that you can apply these things when you go to your churches, to your organizations, to your companies, and at national level. Some of you make decisions at national level, right? In constituencies where you come from, you're going to be making these strategic decisions, we require you to act and behave, perform like someone who has been properly trained, of course, by the strategists. And so this is what is there. This is the progress. This is the way out. This is how we're going to progress. We are aware that there are issues around power outage. So sometimes we'll be recording the sessions. Please treat a recorded session as a live class as well. Don't wait for the recordings to pile up. Make sure you listen to the recordings as soon as they do come out. All right, so that's what is there.